afternoon all. So today we are going to see the pharynx. Now we have finished the soft palate. Let us come to the pharynx. Now we are going to see the pharynx under different headings like introduction, its dimensions, boundaries, relations, all. So first we will go to introduction of the pharynx. Now what is basically pharynx? Pharynx is nothing but a muscular tube and it is wide. So we can say that it is wide muscular tube. It is situated, we have seen already that it is situated behind the nose, behind the mouth and behind the larynx. Then arbitrarily we have divided it into three parts: upper part, middle part and lower part. So upper part is responsible for transmitting air, lower part is responsible for transmitting only food, whereas middle part it is responsible for transmitting air and food both. So what is pharynx? It is a muscular tube which is wide. It is situated behind the nose, behind mouth and behind larynx. Upper part responsible for transmitting air only, lower part responsible for transmitting food only and middle part responsible for transmission of air and food both. So with this introduction, let us come to the dimensions of the pharynx. So in the dimension, we are going to discuss the length and the width. So the length of the pharynx is about 12 cm. Regarding the width, it is widest in the upper part and that is about 3.5 cm. As we come to the middle part, it becomes narrow and the lower end, it is the narrowest part of the GI tract, second to the vermiform appendix. That means vermiform appendix is the narrowest most part and next is the lower end of the pharynx. Now coming to the boundaries of the pharynx. So for the boundaries of the pharynx, we will again go to the simple diagram of the pharynx showing the nose. This is mouth and this is the chin continuous with the mandible. Here there is cross section of the mandible with the tooth and this is the hard palate. To the posterior end there is attachment of the soft palate and lower down in the oral cavity this is the tongue. Already seen that this is palatoglossal arch consisting of palatoglossus muscle. This is the palatopharyngeal arch consisting of palatopharyngeus muscle. Then lower down there is epiglottis. Then this epiglottis, here lower down there is hyoid bone and here there lies the thyroid cartilage. So we can draw the thyroid cartilage cross section of this. So showing the thyroid cartilage and here it is related with the cricoid cartilage. Now with this we will come to the posterior wall of the pharynx. So before that, this is lower down there is trachea with the cartilageous rings. Now this is the posterior wall of the pharynx. Now to draw the upper border, we will go for the base of the skull. Here there lies the body of the sphenoid with the basi occiput and here this is sphenoidal sinus. This is body of the sphenoid bone and this is the basi occiput. Here there is nasopharyngeal bursa with nasopharyngeal tonsil and from here starts the posterior pharyngeal wall. Clear? So more posteriorly there lies the vertebral column. So I will draw here the margin of the vertebral column. Cervical vertebra lies over there, and here there is anterior arch of atlas. So rest of the things we will draw according to the description. So with this basic diagram we will come to the boundaries of the pharynx. Now we are going to see the superior boundary, inferior boundaries, then posterior boundaries, anterior boundaries, and boundaries on each side of the pharynx. So first coming to the superior boundary. So superiorly it is bounded by the base of the skull including the body of the sphenoid bone. So this is body of sphenoid bone plus basi-occiput, that is the basal part of the occipital bone. So superior boundary, it is formed by the body of the sphenoid, and basi-occiput, that is basal part of the occipital bone. Then coming to the inferior margin. So inferiorly we know that pharynx, it is continuous with the esophagus. So at which level it is continuous? So this is the laryngopharynx and this is the esophagus. So it is continuous at the level of lower border of cricoid cartilage. So this is cricoid cartilage, and here there is the sixth cervical vertebra. So here it continues with the esophagus, so we can label it as esophagus. Yeah? So inferiorly it communicates with esophagus at the level of sixth cervical vertebra, that means which communicates with the lower border, which coordinates with the lower border of cricoid cartilage. Posteriorly, the boundary is formed by the cervical vertebral bodies, and these cervical vertebral bodies, they are separated from the posterior wall of the pharynx by means of prevertebral fascia. So here there lies the prevertebral fascia, which is nothing but the part of the deep cervical fascia which intervenes between the posterior wall of the pharynx and the vertebral column. Clear? So posteriorly we can say it is bounded by prevertebral fascia and the cervical vertebral bodies. Now coming to the anterior boundary. So anteriorly it communicates with the nasal cavity, it communicates with the oral cavity, and it also communicates with the larynx. That means anterior border is incomplete because it has communication with nasal cavity, it has communication with oral cavity, it has communication with the larynx. Clear? So with this, coming to the borders on each side of the pharynx. Now talking about the on each side of the pharynx it is connected on each side with the medial pterygoid plate. For this I will show you the diagram of osteology in BDC. So this is actually the osteology part, but base of, so this is the basi-occiput which is forming the roof of the pharynx. So on either side it is connected to the medial pterygoid plate. Above it there lies the mandible which has been removed. So it is also connected with the mandible, and it is also connected to the pterygomandibular raphe. Clear? So this is forming the roof. That means from here the pharynx started and goes upward, connected with medial pterygoid plate, connected with mandible, connected with pterygomandibular raphe. Now it is also connected with the tongue. It is also connected with the hyoid bone, thyroid cartilage and cricoid cartilage. These are all the structures on the side of the pharynx. Now, the pharynx, it is communicated on either side with the middle ear by means of auditory tube. So now you consider this is the pharynx. On either side, on that side also middle ear cavity, on this side also middle ear cavity, which we have removed. Clear? So I can show you here as a opening of auditory tube, which is the opening in the middle ear cavity, and this opening, it is overlapped by or provided by means of tubal elevation and the tubal tonsil. So this is tubal elevation and this is tubal tonsil. Clear? So this is the communication of the pharynx on either side. Then what are the relations on either side? Now we have seen in the side diagram that this is the mandible, this is the mastoid process, here there lies the styloid process, and here there lies the carotid, common carotid, internal and external carotid artery. So on either side, the pharynx, it is related to the styloid process with the muscles attached to it. It is also related to common carotid artery and its two branches, external and internal carotid arteries. Clear? So this is all about the boundaries. So superior boundary, it is formed by the body of the sphenoid and the basiocciput. Inferiorly, it connects with the esophagus at the level of 6 cervical vertebra, which corresponds with the cricoid cartilage. Then posterior margin, it is formed by the prevertebral fascia and the vertebral column, prevertebral fascia intervening between the posterior wall of the pharynx and the vertebral column. Anteriorly, it communicates with the nasal cavity, oral cavity and larynx, therefore the anterior wall is incomplete. On each side, it is connected to the medial pterygoid plate, then pterygomandibular raphe, then the mandible. It is also connected to the tongue. It is connected to the hyoid bone, connected to the thyroid cartilage, connected to the cricoid cartilage. It opens in the middle ear cavity on each side by means of auditory tube. The opening is bounded by the tubal elevation along with the tubal tonsil. And on each side, it is related to the styloid process along with its attachment, common carotid artery, internal carotid artery and external. Now coming to the parts of the pharynx. So pharynx, it is divided into three parts. Upper part, it is called as nasopharynx. Middle part, it is called as oropharynx, and lower part, it is called as laryngopharynx. Nasopharynx, the name itself suggests, lies behind nasal cavity. Oropharynx lies behind the oral cavity and laryngopharynx lies behind the larynx. Now we are going to study all these pharynx in some detail under the heading of situation, extent, its communication, then its relation and its function. So first coming to the nasopharynx. Now coming to the situation of the nasopharynx. So let us come to our diagram. So nasopharynx, it is situated behind the oral cavity. What is its extent? It extends from the roof of the pharynx, that is body of the sphenoid bone, and the basiocciput to the soft palate. So it is situated behind the nasal cavity and extend from body of the sphenoid bone and basiocciput to the soft palate. Now communication, it has two communication. So anteriorly it is communicated with the nasal cavity and lower down it is communicated with oropharynx. So two communications with the nasal cavity and the oropharynx. Now coming to the relations of the nasopharynx. So anteriorly it is related with posterior nasal aperture. Here there are anterior nasal aperture and posteriorly there are posterior nasal aperture. So it is related with posterior nasal aperture. Then posteriorly and in the upper part it is related to body of the sphenoid bone, basi-occiput and anterior arch of atlas, and it shows the presence of nasopharyngeal tonsil with nasopharyngeal bursa. So this is nasopharyngeal tonsil and this is nasopharyngeal bursa. Clear? So posteriorly and above it is related to body of sphenoid, basi-occiput, anterior arch of atlas and nasopharyngeal tonsil and nasopharyngeal bursa. Then laterally it shows the presence of opening of auditory tube which is provided with an elevation called as tubal elevation and the tubal tonsil. Clear? So opening through the auditory tube with the middle ear cavity, tubal elevation and tubal tonsil. Now coming to the last heading, that is the function. So it acts as the passage of air. Now this is all about the nasopharynx. Now coming to our next part, that is the oropharynx. Again going to the same headings. So oropharynx situation, it is situated behind the oral cavity. So this is oral cavity and this is our oropharynx. What is the extent? It extends from soft palate to the upper part of epiglottis. So here this is epiglottis. So this is the upper border of epiglottis and this is the soft palate. So from the soft palate to the upper border of the epiglottis is the oropharynx. Now coming to the communication, it's very easy. So oropharynx anteriorly it communicates with the oral cavity. Above it communicates with the nasopharynx and lower down it communicates with the laryngopharynx. Very simple. Anteriorly communicates with the oral cavity, above it communicates with the nasopharynx and lower down it communicates with the laryngopharynx. Now coming to the relations of the oropharynx. So anterior relations, anteriorly it is related with the oral cavity. Posteriorly it is related to the cervical vertebral bodies. So it is related to the second and third cervical vertebra. So this is almost the first cervical vertebra. So it is related to second and third cervical vertebrae. Then on each side or on the lateral wall it shows the presence of tonsillar fossa. Now initially only we have seen that this is the palatoglossal arch. This is the palatopharyngeal arch. In between these two there is a fossa. It is called as tonsillar fossa which consists of palatine tonsil. So laterally it is related to tonsillar fossa with palatine tonsil in it. Clear? So this is about the relations. Now coming to the function. So it acts as passage of both food and air. So this is all about the oropharynx. Now coming to the third part, that is the laryngopharynx. So again going to the same heading. So laryngopharynx situation, it is situated posterior to the larynx. So this is larynx and it is situated posterior to the larynx. What is its extent? It extends from, up to this was the extent of oropharynx. So it extends from upper border of epiglottis to the lower border of cricoid cartilage. So it extends from upper border of epiglottis to the lower border of cricoid cartilage. Now coming to the communication, again very easy. It communicates anteriorly with the larynx. Above it communicates with the oropharynx and lower down it communicates with esophagus. Clear? So three communications: anteriorly with the larynx, above with the oropharynx and lower down it communicates with the esophagus. Now coming to the relations. So anterior relation again, posterior relation and lateral relation. So anteriorly it is related to the inlet of larynx. It is related to the cricoid cartilage. So this is cricoid cartilage. It is related to arytenoid cartilage. Then posteriorly it is related again to the vertebral column. So it is related to 4th and 5th cervical vertebra. So posteriorly related to 4th and 5th cervical vertebra. On lateral side it is related to pyriform fossa. So pyriform fossa, which lies on either side of the inlet of larynx. At present you remember just the pyriform fossa. We are going to see the pyriform fossa in detail during larynx. Clear? So for the relations, anteriorly it is related to inlet of larynx, posteriorly to the 4th and 5th cervical vertebra, anteriorly along with the inlet of larynx also to the cricoid cartilage and to the arytenoid cartilage, posteriorly to the 4th and 5th cervical vertebra, and on lateral side it is related to the pyriform fossa. Then coming to the function, so it acts as the passage for food. Clear? So this is all about the 3 parts of pharynx, that is nasopharynx, oropharynx, laryngopharynx. Upper part nasopharynx, oropharynx, middle laryngopharynx. Behind the nasal cavity, behind the oral cavity, behind the larynx, we have shown the communication in detail. We have shown its extent in detail, relation and function. So nasopharynx for passage of air, then oropharynx for passage of food and air, laryngopharynx for passage of food. Okay.